So today's class is Designs 101. We're going to be touching on the design section in Command and also some of the design templates on our website, scottleroymarketing.com. So right now I am at agent.kw.com. This is our Command sign-in page. For Command, we do recommend using either Firefox or Google Chrome. Specifically for the design section, I think Firefox tends to work best. So if you are ever in Command and you are having any trouble, especially in designs, try changing browsers. Again, we recommend usually Chrome or Firefox works best with design. So I'm going to sign in with my KW username and password. And I'll give you a moment to do the same as well. All right, this is going to bring us to our Command dashboard. Over here on the left, this is our applet menu. And we're going to be working in designs today. While you're still learning what the different sections of, or what the different applets are, you can go ahead and click on this KW at the top left, and it will expand this menu and show you the name of each section. So we're going to go into designs today. Let's click on this icon here. It looks like a little paintbrush. This brings us into My Design Templates. This is a library of pieces that we've created in the past. And you can scroll through and click on each of these options to view your different emails that you've created. Your landing pages can be managed here as well. Social pieces, these are all pieces we've created before. Print pieces, your agent website pages are actually edited here as well. And then videos. If you have not created any designs yet, you wouldn't have anything in these sections here. To create a new piece, we're going to go ahead and click this plus sign down at the bottom right. And we can select either email, social, print, video, or import a PDF. Now for today's class, we're going to go over social pieces and then print. But we do have other classes. In my marketing with Command class, we go over an email piece. And then also in that class, we go over actually posting our social media pieces. So for today's class, we'll just be creating the pieces. You'll see there's also this option to import a PDF. This is a really cool feature. It's similar to Adobe Acrobat Pro. You can actually import your own PDFs and they will become editable. So you'll be able to change the text, move things around, and so on. So to get started for today, let's go ahead and click social. There's also an option to import photos and text from a listing. We're going to skip this for now, but on the next piece we create, we will choose the listing from here. If you forget to check this box, you can actually select a listing once you're in the piece as well. So we're clicking social and then next. All right, you can see there are 3 different tabs here. We're going to come back to templates. So right now we are on this templates option. Let's click My Designs. This is just another way to get to your design library. These are all of your pieces you've created before. In here, you can actually organize them and categorize them. So you can see we have a couple folders that we've created. You can create a new folder by clicking this option here. And you can actually move items into these different folders to organize your designs. Here you also have the option to start from blank. So if you are creating something custom and you don't see the exact template that you need, you can come here to choose a blank template. Let's go ahead and click on Brand Assets. Now this section is where you are going to want to update your personal information, add in any logos in your headshot, any stock photos you might use. This is kind of similar to your marketing profile in Command, but unfortunately the info from the marketing profile doesn't pull over into designs. So you'll want to come into this brand assets section first before you create anything to add in those items that you might want to use on your pieces. So you can see it starts with colors and fonts. If you have a color palette that you're using or any custom fonts for your branding, you can actually upload those here. You can add in additional color palettes and other fonts. Logos, this is where you'd want to upload your office's logo as well as any custom team logos you may have. To add in something new, we can click this upload button here, and it will allow me to upload a logo from my computer or any one of these locations. Smart text, these are little bits of text that you might use on your pieces. So you can see our slogan, address, names, company names, website, social media information, and I'll show you how these actually work when we go in and create a piece. Under images, this is where you'd want to add in your headshot or any stock photos. So these don't load from this page, but when we go in the piece, these are actually mine and Scott's headshots, so you'll be able to see those. Elements, sort of like clip art. You can add in if you have any clip art or elements that you'd like to add in, those can be imported here. Videos, and then additional files. So I would definitely take a look at this section before you create a piece. You'd probably want to touch on logos and images. Those would probably be the most important to add in your office's logo or your own individual logos and then your headshots. And that's just going to make it a lot easier once we go in and create a piece. So let's go ahead and click on the templates option again at the far left. You can see we have these different options here. So currently we are in social pieces. If I wanted to create a print piece, I would have to go back to Command. But we can scroll through and check out some of these social pieces. So it starts with pieces for the app. They only have social square, so these are formatted for Instagram. But the cool thing about these pieces in Command is they're pretty interchangeable. So even though this is a square, I can download this as a JPEG and I can still post this on Facebook. I can put it in an email and just use it in other locations. For the print pieces, you can choose to download something as a PDF, a print quality PDF, or you can save that same piece as a JPEG and post it on Facebook. So these items in here are really versatile. If we click on listings, we can see some examples of the listing pieces that are available. If I click on listings for sale, you can see we have pieces for social wide. These are formatted for Twitter, Facebook ads, and LinkedIn ads. So Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Social square, these are for Instagram. And then stories, you can actually create pieces for your Instagram and Facebook stories. So you can check out those. There are items for listings, for buyers, lead gen. This is where you can actually find holiday pieces. You can see they have some cute new ones for St. Patrick's Day, spring, and so on. Under business basics, you can find email signatures. There's a couple templates here, as well as social branding, cover photos for your Twitter, LinkedIn, and Facebook. If you wanted to, you could also use these as Zoom backgrounds. Some leadership pieces. Under professional services, there are some luxury pieces here as well. And then under collections, we have new designs and then pivot. So you guys can check those out. There are a lot of really great pieces and they are constantly adding new designs in here as well. We're going to go back up to listings and then for sale. And for today, let's go ahead and go to listings, for sale, and then social wide, and we're going to create a Facebook post. I'm going to choose this first option here. So when we find the one we like, all we need to do is click use. All right, so here's the piece that we're going to create. So over here on the left, we have these different sections. We have images, text, icons, logos, and KWLS. So images, you can see it brings you to My Assets. These are those images we uploaded into the My Assets section. So you can see our headshots, a stock photo, and then the SLM logo. Under Company, this is where you can find other stock images as well. So these are stock images added in for you that you can use. You can see there are some holiday pieces in here, house interiors. You can see these are really nice photos that you can use. App images, lifestyle, and so on. So these are going to be stock images. And then if we were to click on Add, we can actually import photos that we may have saved to our computer. Under Text, you can add in additional text blocks. There are banners that you can use. You can just drag and drop these over here if you'd like. They're kind of like clip art as well. So this one says Happy Friday. If I wanted to, all I have to do is drag this over onto the piece and I can use that. Company, here's that little tagline. Each office is independently owned and operated. You can see that's already on our piece here. And then My Assets, these are those bits of text that we added into the My Assets section. Under Icons, you can see these are those little stock icons. They're kind of like clip art that you can use. Some company icons, and then any icons that we would have added into My Assets. And same sort of thing for logos. We can see logos that were imported into the My Assets section. You do also have access to some company logos in here. These KW logos are just going to be those generic Keller Williams logos. They won't be specific to your office. If you do need to find your office logo, let me go ahead and pull that up for you. They can be found on kwconnect.com. And I will send you guys the direct link. So I'm just signed into KW Connect. The logos can be found under Resources and Marketing, and then Logos and Branding. So I'm going to drop this in the chat for you. On this page, you can actually scroll down and there's a section that says Market Center Logos. You can enter in your Market Center number and it'll give you the downloadable file with all the logos for your specific office. A few questions. Somebody asked, is that small white text at the bottom necessary for all of your postings that each office is independently owned and operated? I would check with your office, specifically your broker. You may want to check with your board as well. I think this bit of text may be required by Keller Williams, but you will need to check with your office and your board on what is required for your posts. Somebody asked, what's the difference between posting a Facebook ad through Designs and using campaigns? So these pieces here, you can use for the social post section within campaigns. So social posts are just like posting on your Facebook wall. So that's going to be similar to using Hootsuite, where you can actually schedule out social media posts. There are also ad campaigns. You can run Facebook advertising paid campaigns. So the ad campaigns you pay for. Using post scheduling is free. And then lastly, over here, we have KWLS. So at the beginning, when we chose what type of piece we were going to create, we had the option to import photos and text from a listing. I chose to skip that, but you can, if you do skip that or forget it, you can come here to KWLS and search for that listing that you need. So when I click in here, I can search by listing address, MLS number, KWLS ID, listing agent, or co-listing agent. So I'm going to search for a listing because I'm creating this piece. This is a just listed piece. So I'm searching for my listing here. All right, if I scroll down, I can then go ahead and select the listing that I am creating this piece for. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to allow us to use the photos and listing details from KWLS on this piece. Somebody asked about they're having trouble having this load in Firefox. It should it should it should be loading pretty quickly, especially if you're in Firefox. Again, sometimes this can be a little finicky and things can go a little bit slower. I would say just try refreshing your page. You can try switching to Chrome, but typically Firefox does work best. I'm in Firefox currently and it is working. And somebody said we can use these images even if they're not the home we are selling. So if I'm creating a piece for a specific home, you would need to use those images of the home itself. If you were creating just like a general real estate post, like for yourself or your business, you could use those stock images, but I wouldn't put photos that are not a home if you were advertising a specific home. All right, so we selected our listing within KWLS. So I can see I have access to the listing photos as well as the listing details. Now I do want to say there has been an error recently with using the listing photos from KWLS. So we're going to test this out today. Typically what you would do is you would go into KWLS and find your listing. I have access to the photos and I want to use, let's say this living room shot here for my post. So what I would normally do is I would click on the photo and then I can drag it over to where I would like it to be on the piece. So you can see when I drop it over this stock photo, it actually replaces it. You can see. And once I let go of my mouse, it should reformat. There we go. Okay. So you can see this is an error that's happening currently. So even though I selected my photo and moved it over, it looks great. The moment I let go and it finishes loading, it kind of moves it up to the left-hand side. So unfortunately, the KWLS photos are not working at this time, but we can still manually add in our photo. So I'm going to click on the photo that I'd like to replace. It's this photo here. And instead, I'm going to go into Images and Add. I have my images from my listing saved on my computer, so I'm going to click here to upload, and it will allow me to choose those photos from my computer. So again, I'm in Images, Add, and I clicked here to upload a photo, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Now that I have this photo added in, I can drag it over. And actually that photo of the front of the house doesn't work perfectly. It's not the best size. So I'm going to go ahead and upload a different photo. There we go. And you can see that looks great. When you import photos, you also have the option to reposition them. So when you click reposition, this allows you to change the cropping. You can see I can move this around and readjust if I want to. All right, we also need to change the text. So I'm going to go back into KWLS and then listing details. You can see all of my listing details are available here. So I want to change out this property address. I'm going to click on the address here. Of course, I can just double click in this box and manually type in the text. At the top, I have the option to choose different fonts. I can change the font size, font colors, and so on. But I'm going to click on this font that I want to change, click on the text, and then go over to KWLS. I can find the section that says property address, and I'm going to click the replace button. Once I click replace, you can see, keep an eye on this. Once I click replace, it'll automatically plug in that text for me. So you may have to readjust this so it doesn't add in the state. So I'll go ahead and just type that in. I'm just clicking in that box and editing. You can also see it pushed the text to a second line. So I'm just going to grab these and move them over, readjust this. And there we go. You can also see as I'm moving things around, these grid lines are popping up and the boxes are snapping into place. That's going to help you make sure that everything is aligned properly and looks good. There we go. Now this replace option might not work perfectly every time. So for example, this section here has the beds, bath, square foot, and price all in one box. If I were to go over here and find, let's say the price, let me just go ahead and copy this so I don't lose my text. So if I were to click on this box here, and let's say I want to change the price, these are broken into different categories, and all of this text is in one box. So if I were to go over to price and click replace, it's going to replace everything in that text box with just this. So for some of these, it may be easier to just type it in yourself. So I'm just going to reference my property details over here on the left. So this home has 4 beds and 3.5 bath. Change out the square footage and then the price. And there we go. We also need to change the year built. Again, if I were to use the replace button over here, it would change this text from built in 2015 to just 2021. So I'm just going to click in this box and change the date. And there we go. The last thing we need to change on here is the logo. So I'm going to click on logo. And when I click on the logo, it automatically brings me into the logo section here. I can choose from any one of these company logos or a logo that I uploaded into my assets. Again, you just click on the item that you'd like to change and then go over to the new logo and click replace. For some of these, you may again have to change the formatting. You can see I added in the logo, but it kind of bumped it down. So I'll go ahead and move that up, adjust the size, and that looks good to go. So you can see very quickly, I was able to create a great Facebook post. Somebody asked where we can see this class again later. This is going to be on slmtraining.com. And then can everyone still see my screen? It said my screen swapped. I just want to make sure that you guys can still see the piece that I'm working on. Okay, great. Thank you. All right. So again, I did see somebody asking about the photos. So what I did was the KWLS photos here, unfortunately, they are not allowing you to just drag and drop. What I did was I went into images and add, and I have my listing photos saved on my computer. So once I go up here to upload, you can see I have some of the listing photos saved on my computer in my downloads folder. So I'm able to select those here and add them into this section. So now we want to save this. Up at the top, this is the file name. So I'm going to click in here and change that. So I'll change this to Bellagio for sale FB, because this is a Facebook piece. Once I click enter on my keyboard, this will save. And then we have the option to download this. So once I click download, I can save this as a JPEG or a PNG. If this was a print piece, I could also save this as a PDF. I'm going to go ahead and just save this as a JPEG. Once I click start download, this will save to my computer, and I'll go ahead and pop that open so you can see what it looks like. And there we go. So now I have this saved. I could open a new tab and post this directly to Facebook. I can also go into campaigns and post it from the campaigns section. And this is not our campaigns class, unfortunately, but I will give you just a super quick overview of how you can access your designs from within the post scheduling section. So we're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to click done at the top right. And that's going to bring us back to command. So this is going to bring us back to my design templates, and you can see here's that piece we just created. So this is a Facebook piece. I am able to use this if I go into campaigns and schedule a social post. So I'm going to click on the icon that looks like a megaphone. That's going to bring us into campaigns. Again, in my marketing with command class, we go over each of the campaigns, but I did want to give you just a quick preview of this here. Let's click on social posts. So this is a feature similar to Hootsuite. You can actually schedule out your social media posts ahead of time. You can see here's a calendar. Any pending posts will display here. I want to schedule that Facebook post that we just created. So I'm going to go up to the top right and click create a new campaign. And then social post. All right, and basically all we have to do is work through these items over here on the left to create our social post on the right. So for the text, I would probably put the property description. Let me go ahead, I have that in a different screen. So I would say just listed in Spring Hill, maybe the property description, and then contact today for more information. Again, this is your preference. This is a Facebook post, so you do get 2,200 characters, so this can be a little lengthier. And then the second section here is where we can actually select the photo. So we want to use that piece we just created. So I'm going to click Browse Design Library. This is going to bring up my designs. It'll only bring up the social posts. So keep that in mind. If I had created maybe a flyer, a print flyer, I wouldn't be able to select it from my library, but I could save it as a JPEG and then upload it manually to the Facebook post. But I created a Facebook piece, so I'm going to go ahead and select my piece here. And it's going to plug that into the design section. So it brings up my post. I do have to crop it because it's trying to crop it as a square, but if I click this drop down, I can select wide, and you can see that fits perfectly. And you can see we're building our post over here on the right. We can see a preview of what that's going to look like. Under DBA logo, it's asking if you want to plug in an additional logo. You can see a little sneak preview of it, kind of small right here. We already have a logo that we added onto this piece, so I can go ahead and just click this X here to remove that logo. And you can see it goes away. Same thing with ownership statement. We already have the ownership statement on the piece itself. If I click this box, it's going to plug in that text again and just plop it on top of that. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. I don't need an extra one. And then it asks when we would like to schedule our post, or when we would like to post. We can publish immediately, or we can schedule this ahead of time. It does say the best times to post are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday mornings. So I'm just going to choose tomorrow at 11 a.m. And when you select the date and time here, there's not a save button. So all you have to do is click out of that box and it will update. And then select the pages. So our Facebook page is already connected. It's actually connected up here in the settings. So if you click on settings, you can go into applications and connect your Facebook. You can also click here to connect your Facebook account. I believe that'll just bring you into that page as well. So this is good to go. You can see I added in my design, that piece we just created, added in the text, the description, and now I can either save this as a draft or schedule the post. This is scheduled to go out tomorrow morning, so I'll just go ahead and click schedule post. And this will refresh and take me back to my campaigns page, and you can see tomorrow this will post. This is on my schedule. You can see a preview of that post here. I don't actually want this to go out tomorrow, so I'm just going to go ahead and delete. But that's how you can use your designs from the design library and create a social post. Again, check out my marketing with command class. We will go over that more in depth. Somebody's asking how you can transfer the ads to LinkedIn. So the pieces we just created, those are social posts. You can use that in a paid ad, but we're not going over paid ads today. So you can create a paid ad here, and you would just have to manually upload that design that you created. You wouldn't be able to select it from the design library. You would have to save the piece as a JPEG, save it on your computer, and then use that as the image for the ad. But unfortunately, we're not going over ads or LinkedIn today. Let's go back to designs. Let's click on the paintbrush. This time, let's click on that plus sign again and click on print. I do want to give you a preview of the print pieces. So we click the plus sign and then print. And then I do want to import photos and text from a listing. So I'm going to check this box here. And then next. This is going to bring up a KWLS search page where I can find my listing. I can select from all listings or only my listings. If I have all listings selected, I can go ahead and search by the property address. I found my listing here, and then I can click select. Somebody asked about connecting their Facebook. What you'll do from your command homepage, let's see, I can just bring it up really quick. From command, just click your name at the top right and then settings. That's going to bring you into applications. There's a couple spots for Facebook. There's Facebook for ads and Facebook's for post scheduling. So you can connect those there. So again, just click your name at the top right and then settings, and that'll bring you into the applications and you'll see Facebook there. So we're back in designs. I chose print this time, and there are quite a few print options here. I'm going to start by clicking on listings and then for sale. You can see we have different door hangers, flyers, postcards, brochures. So lots and lots of stuff. So at this time, I do want to point out that KW does not offer printing. But they did announce that they're hoping to roll that out soon. So they are supposed to be offering printing soon, which is exciting. There are also listing presentations in here. So you can see these are listing presentations. We do have a shorter video on creating just a listing presentation. These are really nice because they're completely customizable. You can add pages, remove pages, add in your custom content, move things around, rearrange the pages. So these are really great, really customizable. There are also these items in here called neighborhood snaps, where you can actually search a specific neighborhood and it'll bring over stats from that neighborhood, and you can use these flyers, door hangers, and postcards for farming. Under buyer, there are buyer presentations similar to that listing presentation. Under lead gen, there are some event invitations, holiday greetings. There's actually a new personally branded zine. So there's a little real estate magazine that you can create here. That one's pretty new. Under business basics, you have some business card templates. Again, they don't offer printing just yet, but you can take these designs to a printer. And then letterhead. So you guys can scroll through and check out these additional items here. Really quick, I do want to go ahead and just create a print flyer together. So I'm going to go back up to listings and for sale. Click on flyers. So for sale, flyers, and then let's just choose this first option here. And it's going to be that same editing process. So I'm going to move through this one pretty quick so you can see how quickly and easily you can create a really nice flyer. We do need to zoom in so we can view this a little bit closer. So I'm going to click on the plus sign down at the bottom right. And let's start editing this. Now, again, if I click on KWLS, I selected my listing. So all of this is pulling over. Unfortunately, the photos are still acting funny. If we want to drag and drop them over, it's not working. So instead, I'm going to use those photos that I have saved on my computer again. So I'm going to go up to images and then add. And since I just uploaded those, they are saved here, so I can just drag and drop them over. I need another photo, so I'm going to click here to upload an image from my computer. Choose the image that I need. And it's going to show here under my imported images. So again, I'm just going to click on the photo, hold my finger down on the mouse, on the button, drag it over to where I'd like it to replace. And then once I let go of the button on my mouse, it's added in perfectly. Now let's change some of this text. I'm going to start with a property description. So I'm going to click on this block of text that I'd like to edit. Of course, I can just double click in here and either type in the property description or copy and paste it. I'm going to go over to KWLS and then listing details, and the property description is always at the bottom. And once I click that replace button, it adds in my property description for me. So I'm going to readjust this so it fits just a little bit better. That looks good. Change the year built. I'm just going to double click in here and change this to 2021. Change the listing address. I'm going to click on the listing address and find it over here under my listing details and then click replace. So same process as before. Editing these is really simple once you get the hang of it. I can actually make this a little bigger. I think there's enough room. So I'm just going to select my text, choose a bigger font. I can move this around. And you can see our flyer is coming together. So we selected our listing from KWLS when we chose what type of piece we'd like to create. I just got a question about that. I clicked that box that said add photos and text from a listing. Once you're in the actual piece, you can actually just click on KWLS and it will allow you to search for that listing that you need. I'm going to change this text. 4 bed, 3.5 bath. Change the square feet and the price. I can readjust this, make it fit just a little better. And then lastly, we need to change our agent details and the logo. So I want to change this headshot. I'm going to click on the headshot here, go up to images. I have my headshot added into my assets. If I needed to, I could go here and click add and upload my headshot from my computer. But since I have this added in from earlier, I'm going to click replace and it'll plug in my headshot for me. Well, it should have. It looks like that didn't work. So if that doesn't work, that's okay. I can just drag and drop this over. Oh, and it actually looks like maybe it did work. I'm going to make this a little bigger. And there we go. There's my headshot. And it looks a little blurry. So let's see if we can fix that. There we go. So you may have to play around with it. I'm going to change out this text just by clicking here, Bailey Smith. There we go. Last thing I want to change is the logo. So same thing, click on the logo. It should bring up your logo section automatically. I don't have a logo, a white logo here, so I'm going to use one from the company section. Company and then KW, and I'll just use this one here. And there we go. Very quickly, I was able to put together this print piece. So at the top, I'm going to change that file name again. I'm going to say Bellagio Flyer. Just clicking in that box here. And now I want to save this. I want to save this to my computer, so I'm going to click download. If I wanted to post this on Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, I would download this as a JPEG file. If I was going to print this, I would click Get PDF, and this will allow me to download a high resolution print flyer. So I click Get PDF. I'm going to change the quality to high resolution print and then start download. And that's going to allow me to save this to my computer. And I'll go ahead and open that up so you can see it. And there we go. Very quickly, we were able to create that flyer together. And now, again, KW doesn't have printing just yet. That's supposed to be coming soon. But I can take this, I can print it in my office. I can go to FedEx, take this to whatever printer I need. Somebody asked, can these be in a different language? Unfortunately, there isn't a way like automatically to convert these to a different language. There isn't that sort of technology, but you can, of course, change the language, change the wording on it to whatever you need. And then if somebody said, since this is an ad, does it need to be approved by the broker? I would just check with your broker on what's required for your office and for your board. Typically, I think you have to have the KW logo. I think you have to have this slogan on there, but your office, your state, your board, they may require additional information. So you definitely need to check on that. And then somebody asked what the PNG files would be used for. So PNG file is really just for anything that has like a transparent background or a cutout on it. If you are posting this, if this was like a Facebook post or something for Instagram, you could do JPEG or PNG. Typically, PNG is used for pieces that have some sort of cutout on them. Since this doesn't have any cutouts, we could just download it as a JPEG. This was a print piece. We want to print this flyer, so we did download that as a PDF. And then again, this class will be on slmtraining.com later today. This is our Designs 101 class. So there we go. We created our print flyer. I can go ahead and click done, and that will be saved to my library. Now, before we wrap up today, I did want to show you some of the templates on our website as well. So we're going to switch gears, and we're going to go to scottleroymarketing.com. This is our website, and we do have templates available to you here as well. To access the resources on our website, you do have to log in. So I'm going to click the login button at the far right. And it asks for your Market Center number or password. So for most of you, you just need a Market Center number. Only a small handful of offices actually have their own password. So I'm going to enter a Market Center number here. And then click login. If you don't know what your Market Center number is, reach out to your office or to us and we can help you locate that. To access our templates, we're going to highlight KW resources at the top and then click on templates directly. Once we're on this page, you will see a video at the top. I'm going to give you a quick overview of creating an email signature today, but I definitely recommend watching this video here just so you can go through each of the steps. It goes a little bit slower. And at the end of this video, it'll actually show you how to attach your email signature to your Gmail account. But if you scroll down, you can see we have a lot of different templates available. We have different flyers, calendars, and so on. But most people utilize our email signature. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the email signatures button here. This opens up a new tab and brings us into Google Drive. So to access our templates, you do have to be signed into a Google account. If you don't have a Google account that you're using currently, your kw.com email is actually a Gmail, so you can sign in with that. So I'm going to click sign in and sign into my email. And this is going to give me full access to the templates. So we have 4 different folders here: modern, normal, vertical, and widescreen. I'm going to go ahead and click on the first option for modern. And you can see we have quite a few different email signature templates. Let's go ahead and just open up this first one here. I'm going to double click on that and that will open up the template. You can see there are 3 slides for this template. The first one is the email signature itself. The second one is just telling you that this is a flat image signature. So unfortunately, if you were to add any icons or links or buttons, they would not be clickable on this piece. So just keep that in mind. And the third slide just tells you to watch that video on our website to get the step-by-step. So when I'm in the actual email signature, you can see I'm clicking, but I can't actually do anything. So what I want to do to be able to access this is I'm going to click File at the top left and then Make a Copy. So File, Make a Copy, and then I only need the first slide, so I'm going to choose Selected Slides. From here, I can choose to rename this. I'm just going to click OK. And now we will actually be able to edit this signature. So editing in here, again, is pretty simple. We're just going to click and edit. I'm going to start by editing the headshot. If I right click on the headshot, I can go ahead and go down to Replace Image. And then I'm going to choose Upload from Computer because I have my headshot saved on my computer. I'm just going in and selecting my headshot. And you can see it adds in the photo for me. Let's change this text. I'm just going to click in the text box and add in my name. And then change the contact details. I know my email is going to be too big, so I'm just going to go ahead and make this a little smaller. Same sort of thing as within Command. I can change the fonts if I'd like. I can change the colors, change the sizing. I can move things around. I can completely customize this. Let's go ahead and make this a little smaller. If I wanted to replace this logo, same sort of thing. I'm just going to right click on the logo itself and then Replace Image and choose a new logo from my computer. And then, I don't know if I actually have some good office logos saved in here, but I can choose a different logo from my computer. I just know these logos are not going to work. Oh, actually that worked perfectly. So I can choose a new logo from my computer and readjust that size here. I can also change out the background. So if maybe I don't like this black bar, maybe I have my own colors that I use for my branding, I can go ahead and click on the item that I'd like to change and then click on this paint bucket here. I usually like to change this to like a cool gradient. You can see that looks pretty good. So you can completely customize these. You can move things around, make the text smaller, what have you. So this is good to go. Now our process for saving this is a little different. We're going to go up to the top left and click File and then Download. So for these pieces, we have noticed that if I download this as a JPEG, it's going to be a little grainy and a little blurry. So we take one extra step. I'm going to go File, Download, and then PDF document. Now, unfortunately, you can't upload a PDF to your email settings. So this looks good, but unfortunately, I would not be able to attach that. So there are a couple different things that I can do. If I wanted to, I could just take a screenshot of this and I could upload it that way. But what we're going to take one extra step. We're going to go to this website, PDF2jpg.net. And I'll go ahead and put that in the chat for you guys. So PDF2jpg.net. And this is a free converter. It will allow me to convert that PDF that I just saved into a JPEG file because it has to be a JPEG to import into our email signature settings. So I'm going to click Choose a PDF file and then select that file that we just saved on our computer. We're going to change the JPEG quality to excellent and then click convert. This is going to work really quickly. And then I can download my file here. So you'll see it still is a tiny bit grainy, but when I have this in my signature, probably not be even larger than that. So you can see that looks good. So now I have this saved to my computer. I can go into my Gmail settings and add this signature in. Oh, I pulled up the wrong window. Let's go ahead and find that. Here we go. So this video on our page, on our website, this will walk you through that email signature process again. It goes a little bit slower. And then at the end, it'll show you how to go into your Gmail settings and actually attach the signature. But that is actually about it for today's class. I do want to pull up our contact information. We are here Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. I did record this class, so this will be on slmtraining.com later today, as well as our YouTube page. Our YouTube is youtube.com/ScottLeroy Marketing, so check that out. If you guys have further questions, please feel free to reach out to us. If not, thank you for watching our class today, and I hope you have a great weekend.